Welcome everyone. Welcome to the Power Up with AI session. Welcome to our writers, our artists, producers, and anyone else who couldn't get the early train out of Sheffield. Welcome. My train's at like 6, so I think that's the only reason why they asked me to host this here. So we're here to talk AI, which is a very fast-growing buzzword across industries. It can be a scary word, maybe, and the way things are looking could be like one of the 2 dirtiest letters across creative industries, apart from maybe PR. I don't know. Sorry to any PR. I don't know why I thought of PR. There's the only other 2 letters I can think of. So. So we're here to talk AI. I did worry for a second, I'm not going to lie. Did anyone go to Shana's Creative Keynote? Yeah, I was a bit worried that after that talk, like the doors would be bolted and we couldn't get in. But luckily, we're here. So this is going to be a fun experiment. I'm going to explain how this is going to go, who these lovely people are. But what I'd also like to do is get just a sense of who's in the room. Just show of hands. Has anyone here heard of AI? Okay. All right, I like to start with the easy questions. Has anyone used it in any form? Okay, cool. All right, he's got an informed audience. And out of interest, has anyone like just gone and rewatched Terminator 2 so they can get tips on how to fight the? Yeah. No, it's not going to be that kind of. This is not the doom and gloom session. This is a fun, informal look at what AI can do, what it is, and what it can't do, maybe. So we're going to explore like its abilities and its usefulness in creating work. So we're going to put these 4 people to work, and I'm just going to talk. I don't actually have to do much. But our goal, or your goal, I'd say our like her, your goal is to create a pitch deck for a 3D kids or preschool series in less than 60 minutes. So no pressure, but we're gonna put this together, and we'll put it together as we go, and you'll see some of the output on the screen, and we'll show you what we've got. So we're going to show our working at the end, and the idea for this is not necessarily to convert you to AI, although by the show of hands it feels like everyone might already be converted. Not necessarily to convert you or to scare you, but just to show what the tool is, what it can do, where some of the limitations may be, and how you might think about using it or not in future. It's your choice. So, like I said, it's going to be an experiment. So we're treating this like a writer's room, and you're going to see all the process. You're going to see the behind the scenes thrown up on screen. You're going to see the result. You're going to see the back and forth. You're going to hear some of the discussion from our speakers here. And we're going to be using ChatGPT and Midjourney. So we're going to combine those 2 tools and then put together this pitch deck for what may or may not be an amazing kids show. We'll see. But we also want audience participation. So we're going to, along the way, we're going to ask for opinions, we're going to see what you think, what you like, what you don't like, make some changes where we're able to. And at the end, we'll have a discussion. So once we've produced everything, we'll talk about it. We'll talk about what worked, what didn't, and any thoughts, perspectives that come out. You get your chance to ask questions. And I imagine the first is whether this is all going to replace us and take away our jobs. So think about your answers for that as well. Just a guess, so just thinking. So, and like I said, this is all live. This is not like the sort of Blue Peter, here's the one we made earlier. We are literally doing this like as we go. So we do not know how this is going to turn out. So disclaimer, there's little asterisks on this whole thing. We don't know how this is going to turn out. Could all fall apart, or we could have the next best show, and then we can all retire after this session. Now it's we. If it's good, it's we. If it's bad, then it's on you guys. But we're on the journey together. And yeah, if you just think, I know there's a lot of fears around AI. Hopefully we'll be able to sort of talk about that. We're not necessarily here to have a whole wide range of view, but just remember, if you are scared about the technology, you can pull out the plug, and just turn off the electricity. And so how scary can it be? Let's meet our writer's room. So we have with us Michael Ford, producer at Three Wise Entertainment. We have Naila Ahmed, freelance writer and producer. We've got Tom Box, co-founder of Blue Zoo, and Mike Victor, director at Engine House. How are you all doing?
Good.
Very good, thank you.
Cool. All right, you ready to do this?
Yes.
Okay, we will see. So we'll just get a sense of who everyone is and so where you've come into this whole AI debate from. So yeah, Michael, we'll just make it easy, go down the line. Michael, what's your current perspective on AI? How have you used it? What's your thoughts?
So as a producer, my thing is we're using it to augment what we're doing. So that's what I think it should be used for. I think it's a tool in the toolbox that can be used to kind of help us along our way. We're using image AI, we're using some text AI, we're using things like motion capture AI and AI in sort of other parts of the kind of creative process. So we are using different types of AI, but very much alongside all our lovely humans that we work with.
Lovely, lovely humans. Okay. Nyla, on a scale of like 1 to I may not have a job in the morning, what's your current feeling on?
Well, that's what I'm being told, that I may not have a job in the morning, except that I'm brilliant, so I know that I will have a job in the morning. Not really. Not really. But I'm sure that this thing will need the augmenting and some help along the way. But it will be really fun to see it work, because I haven't done that before. I'm not very techie. Michael's been laughing at me since I pulled my pen and paper out, even though I told him these don't break down. But that just sounded really old-fashioned and silly. So anyway, but yes, so it will be fun. I think I'm going to enjoy seeing what it comes up with.
No, that's really good. And I think I can tell you're a writer. I do a lot of sessions with young people and I say, like, bring out your pens and pads. And they go, huh? So that's
I
really
love
good.
you already.
Yeah. And Tom, you are in control of all the switching and everything.
Yes.
And you've got some experience.
From co-founder of Blue Zoo, and we, us animation studios have been built on technology. We wouldn't exist without technology. So we like to really creatively experiment, so we don't risk becoming kind of technically complacent, which is from any business is dangerous. But as a B Corp as well, we want to make sure that we're doing it in the most sensitive and ethical way. So treading carefully and just seeing what it is and making decisions about how we use it in our business, like Michael said, to really augment human creativity, not replace it.
Cool. And Mike, you've got the image duties. What's your...
Ahoy, hoy, it's working. Okay, so didn't I do like a check?
Oh yeah, no, we didn't do that. Yeah, okay, we've checked.
Okay.
All the tech works.
Right,
We're good. Yeah, what's your thoughts on the image side particularly?
On the image side, I mean, we were sort of interested in it from about like sort of 6 to 8 months ago, and when you were seeing the results of it, and it was definitely like not seen this type of image before, and until you look closely and see that they maybe didn't make sense, but it was still quite a nice sort of unique thing. So sort of definitely for sort of concept art, started doing that, learning how to kind of prompt stuff. But yeah, I think as we're probably going to discuss much more on the sort of early stages, sort of mood board replacing, not sort of final image generation, but kind of definitely inspiration. I think sort of quickly communicating your ideas visually is sort of better than probably a Google image search.
Cool. All right, so we've got everyone's entry points into the tech. Let's get started. So a bit background on me. So I make comics. So I've got like characters and stuff with like whole stories, but I've not made animation. So this is actually partly for me as well because I feel like I need to know this process. So you're helping me as well. So we're going to start at the basics. I'm not going to assume everyone is an expert at pitching, creating animation, decks and everything. So we'll start at the basics and we'll talk about pitch decks. So I've been hearing a lot about them through the CMC and other areas, but what exactly is a pitch deck? But because of the fantastic, amazing, maybe scary AI, we're just going to ask it. I don't have to think. I'm going to ask the AI. So Tom, can we work that out?
Can we switch to my... So I'll be using GPT-4 with this, which I'm sure many people have used in the room, but because down there it says we have a limit for 25 messages every 3 hours. We might get stuck doing that. So I'm using the back-end version, which doesn't have that limit. So, and what you can do in this, you can tell it to who it should be. So I've said you're a development executive developing a unique and engaging Emmy-winning 3D animated preschool TV series. So first off, like many people use it as a Google kind of replacement, knowing that it might come up with complete rubbish. But if I do that, it will tell us kind of what might it'd be good to put in a very simple deck. I can do that again if I didn't like the first one. So what I'm going to do is copy and paste. The way this is working is that we've got a few Google Docs we're sharing, so Michael can help put a deck together, and Mike can do the images. So I'm going to take one of these. What do we think? They're both quite similar, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. Has it just given us
I'll go with the first one.
Yeah.
Right, so I'll paste that first one in. So there we go. So that will be our the title of each page of our deck.
Okay, so in a pitch deck, and this is what we're aiming for in this session. So we're aiming for a series overview, looking for a breakdown of some characters. We're going to see the visual style, the aesthetics, some episodes, and target audience and marketing strategy. Okay, this is going to be doing a lot. Yeah, this is doing a lot. All right, we'll see how that goes. So, how do we feel so far? We're good. We all know like what we're here for. What we're gonna. You say Emmy winning as well.
Yep.
Okay.
Go big or go home.
Okay.
I saw the development exec start sweating.
Yeah.
It was the development exec.
Okay. We're all on a journey together. So, but yeah, now I'm now expecting an Emmy from this at the end. All right. So
Obviously, could never replace development execs. I just want to say that as a producer that needs my shows commissioned.
Yeah. If you take nothing else away from the session, just remember, lovely.
You are
humans.
safe.
All right. So let's. We've got the goal. Let's start getting some ideas. Like I said, audience participation. So what we're going to do now. And by the way, this lectern is actually just a show. I can move around here. So we're going to get some feedback and thoughts from the audience. The first thing that we want to do, Tom, is get a genre. Am I right?
Yes, that's right. So what we're going to ask it to come up with a mashup of ideas in that Hollywood way of a mashup of a popular 90s TV show and a movie. But what genre should we go with is the question.
Yeah, what do you think? All right, so do you want to just like throw some genres at me? We'll see what comes up. Has anyone got a bit? What was that? A vehicle show. Any other ideas? Sci-fi, horror. Ooh, coming of. Oh,
should we go for a horror preschool?
Horror preschool.
I think we knew that was going to happen.
We're gonna scare some kids apparently because we're terrible people. So horror is our genre.
Right. So come up with 3 mashups of popular 90s TV shows and 90s horror movies. 90s. I'm gonna double that up there just to make sure it doesn't get mixed up. Highly engaging preschool TV show.
Here we go.
Wow, that's bad.
So
I think we're done.
Yeah. Okay, we got it in one. Do we have the Emmy ready? Is that? Do we?
I'll copy those.
Okay.
Under regrets.
So we have some ideas, some interesting ideas. I do like how it said like enchanting, not just like a blend of rugbats, but enchanting blend.
I don't know if it's enchanting.
Well, we've got time.
It's nightmarish.
We've got time. We've got time to make it there. So we have some ideas. We have under Rugrats' bed, enchanting blend of Rugrats and Nightmare on Elm Street, where toddlers explore imaginative monsters under beds, teaching love, bravery, and friendship with a whimsical horror twist.
The thing is, I really like that idea. I quite like the goal.
Yeah.
As a thing to kind of like teach kids that, you don't have to be scared of monsters under the bed. There's something in it that you can kind of see where it's going.
Yeah. And
maybe not Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah, I know. So I left it open as well, just like monsters on just any bed, so they just go into different. But anyway, Goosebumps in the Magic School Bus. A fusion of the Magic School Bus and Goosebumps sees kids on thrilling trips, explore eerie yet fun supernatural phenomenon, while learning about science, and science is very cool. So that sounds pretty cool.
That does, yes.
Educational.
My son would love that.
Okay.
The science bit.
Yeah, and then last but not least, we have Hocus Pocus Blues Clues, a mashup of Blues Clues and Hocus Pocus, delivering spellbinding adventures of learning and friendship with an adorable dog Blue in a charming and witchy magic universe. What do you think, Writer's Room? What stands out to you?
Under regrets.
Yeah, we're totally. What about you guys? I was like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right,
I have not been paying attention other than just thinking, how am I going to generate an image?
Yeah.
Like
We got we had some interesting images in the test as well. It's like, that's going to be fun.
Deleted
so
those.
the writers' room seems to have picked number one. What do we feel? Hands up for that. For you're feeling that? Okay, that's a good show of hands.
Yeah.
All right. We're done. We're done the first bit. Then we have our genre. We have some mashups. Is there anything that we want to change about that? Are we just happy with
Probably
as
the
is?
title to start with, I would imagine. So
Yeah.
unless we can get the rights, it's
Yeah.
spin-off.
Okay. What are you thinking for title?
Titles, let's find out. So, because it retains the context, I can just say for the first idea, tell me some titles.
Fright Light, Dreamland, Rugrats. It's just keeping the Rugrats element.
Yeah, so I
there,
can
isn't it?
say.
Can you tell it to remove the IP?
Are to rubbish.
Dreamy Rugrats Rumble. That's
Too rubbish.
Rugrats Slumber Scares. That's cool, catchy.
Slumber scares, all right?
Yes.
These are too rubbish.
Still doing Rugrats. Stop it. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it seems to get fixated on.
Lullaby
I mean, Rugrats was a good
Lurkers.
show. I did
Lullaby
enjoy
Lurkers,
that.
that's nice.
Yeah.
Nightshade Navigators.
We could take Freddy from Nightmare on Elm under Freddy's bed, but it's a different Freddy, of course.
Moondust Mischief.
A lot of these keywords are really making it say, threatening me with
Whisper.
banning my account for use of inappropriate terms.
Twilight Tot.
Twilight Tots. I've got
Okay.
Slumber Shadows, that's quite nice.
Narrative.
Are you feeling more confident about these ones?
Yeah. I personally like Slumber Shadows. There was another Slumber, wasn't there? Slumber,
So we got Slumber Shadows. We have. I'll go for the top. Dreamland Dwellers, Whimsical Whispers, Nap Time.
Twilight Tots.
Twilight Tots.
well.
Is that the one?
Yeah.
Is that? Are we feeling that
Bedtime
one?
Saga.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bedtime Beasties.
Beasties, yes.
Oh, okay. So. How do we feel about what was the one Twilight Tots, a bedtime saga?
I like that.
You guys,
You like that, Nyla?
Yeah.
okay, all right. So we've got a title that won't get us sued. All good. So what do we now need to go to? Is a synopsis.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
All right. So we've got our title.
Yeah.
We now need to put some meat on the bones of this Emmy-winning kids show.
Title 4. Can you? What should we ask for that? You write a synopsis. Can't
Synop.
spell.
You need a P now.
Sin somewhere, isn't it?
Yeah.
Not there.
It's something.
Which the O in the end.
It's harder than
Ask
it
it how
looks
to
to be
spell.
nice.
Yeah.
How to spell. There you go.
There we go. Is that right?
It's like,
Yeah.
oh really? It's like, I guess we should be.
Yeah.
We should be nice to it.
Yeah.
Our lack of manners is what starts the AI uprising.
Yeah, I know. It's like we remembered you from that session.
Yeah, yeah.
You didn't say please and thank you.
Exactly.
So you're the first to go.
Oh, it's going on and on.
Okay.
I need a shorter one.
Yeah. So one of the things
should we
about
stop it and tell it to go shorter?
I've noticed in using ChatGPT is it's very wordy, so
Right,
it likes
I'm
to
gonna-
throw out a lot of
I'm
words. But you can. I think this is the idea with having that human interaction is like putting in the parameters for something that makes it a bit easier to digest. Well, it's easier
so
for me to digest.
Is 100 words too many for a synopsis?
It's-
Steve says yes. I'm going to go for 50.
Nyla just said it's really quick. You can write this quick, can't you?
Yes.
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. Exactly.
Okay, so yeah, it has seemed to give us some like familiar ideas, and I think what we're going to look at is like how we can maybe tweak and adapt it and get something out of it that's a bit more unique. Okay, turning it. Typically scary concept of monsters under the bed into a world of wonder and education for toddlers.
I'm sold.
Yeah. Yeah.
please.
Okay, so we're about to go and innovate and redefine the genre for preschool TV shows while offering parents an edutainment platform that makes bedtime stories interesting, exciting, and beneficial for their kids.
Well, do we need to change it at all? What do you think?
See, I mean, to me, that sounds like a good pitch.
It sounds like a good pitch, but doesn't it sound like a, underbed monsters, kids? It sounds a little bit readily available.
What would you do with it then, Nyla?
Don't ask me
Be
that.
the writer.
Yes.
I mean, there's a kind of another curveball here with from some of the images that it was just generating, just based off some of these
The
words.
parents are the monsters.
The
Something, there's a...
You'd like it to be the parents of the
some
monsters?
very slight threat. We did start with horror, so
Yeah.
there needs to be something.
Or what are you saying, Mike, about the images?
I was just saying, it started off with kind of terrifying-looking human kids, but then I don't know if you just want to switch to the thing. I was just sort of running through, sort of very kind of Monsters Inc.y, and I sort of quite liked some of these, sort of, kind of fabric-y things, and whether it is based more from the monster's perspective. We've kind of got this one I just quite liked, so I just did like an upgraded version, where they're just, it's whether it is going to be more based on their perspective as opposed to the kids, and whether sort of the visuals help sort of feed back into what you're generating into.
See, I would argue that becomes more Monsters Inc. then. If
Yeah.
you do it. So no,
Okay.
I would argue if the USP is to teach kids about kind of conquering their sleep time fears, then seeing it from the kids' perspective would certainly be sort of my steer.
I would rather tickle their nighttime fears than teach them not to be afraid. Do you know what I mean? As
'Cause
in
we are going for
make
the
them
horror
afraid in a
element.
safe space, if that even
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah.
But I think
We did say
if
horror.
the
Scare, not
adults in the
scar.
world with the monsters, and at night they have to be afraid. They have to survive that night. Every night they have to survive it. No, way too dark. Are you worrying about
Okay.
my son and ready to go
Yeah.
childline right now?
So how do we feel about,
Yes.
hands up if you want to educate kids? Okay, hands up
No
if you want to scare kids. Okay, all right,
Being scared.
we're gonna go with it.
Which one are we going with? Try and make it more scary.
So we're gonna make it a tad bit more scary. See if we can. What was this phrase? Scare, not scar.
Yeah.
That's a good.
Not
Okay,
scar.
yeah. I use that. Scare, not scar.
Well, Nyla won't.
Yeah, no.
Paul Mohammed.
Well, let's go. I think in the interest of time.
Yeah, we'll go with that and then see what images we get a bit later on.
Hang on, let me paste that in. So, what's next?
So we have our synopsis, and we need to get some characters and character biographies. So I think we've got a good context for the show. How do we go about getting some characters out of this synopsis?
So are we sticking with the idea of a kid's perspective, right?
Yeah.
What should we do? Maybe two twins or something in the
Yeah, well, kind of. Yeah, we'll ask it for who would be the lead in the show.
Let's not specify gender. Let's see what it comes up with in terms of...
Yeah.
Yeah. Who could the show
Pet's nice.
shows stars? Oh no, lead characters be, and what is their pet?
Liam.
Okay, so
Brave
we've got Liam, Esme, and a pet.
Come on. Not Comet.
What's the feeling about the names? Liam, Esme, and was it Comet?
Comet.
Comet the
Comet
dog.
the dog.
Comet the dog. What do you think of those, Nyla?
Well, immediately, if I'm being honest, I love the supernatural, and my immediate thought was, certainly in our background, animals and cats pick up the supernatural, so the pet is a natural protector, or at least can let the kids know when danger's about. And so I was wondering whether it ought to be a cat. They're just more silent and able to get into,
More perceptive.
whereas dogs are more, just very happy, and you
jumpy.
know when they're there.
Yeah, not very stealthy.
No.
Okay, so we're gonna change the dog for a cat.
Cat's now Cleo.
we think, yeah.
Yeah, I like your explanation for that. You got that, bringing in your perspective and how it can fit in the show. So we have changed to Cleo the cat.
Absolutely.
There we go. What about the...
So willing to help.
Oh, she talks. She's got a sharp wit.
what do we think about the names then? Of the...
Yes.
So was it just the dog to the
Valley.
cat that you were? Are you happy with the other two names?
It's like Mummy and Daddy have gone to Waitrose. Make sure the monsters don't kill us. You know, but let's go, Aldi.
Do you want to go? Yeah, more. Less point.
There's a cost of living crisis.
Source of
Jake?
generic.
Are there any Jakes in the room? You are less posh.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Not sure if that worked. But
Yeah, I feel it's just
Jake and
giving
Mia.
us
yeah.
two different names, Jake and Mia.
Blinky. Blinky.
I mean, do
Calico
we want
cat
to define
named
their
Blinky,
background, where they're from?
So we might have
Where
to give
would
it a
you-
bit more context
yeah.
in terms of getting the characters, because you gave some good context
Yeah.
in terms of like where they might come or where we don't
Yeah.
want them to come from for the
Yes.
show. So maybe we can add some of that in and get characters that might be more representative of what we
Yeah.
want the show to
Yes, what do we think? They're from Iraq. No.
So we're going. You say Audi. We're going for more Audi backgrounds.
Yes.
Yeah.
Where would you make them from?
Where would I make two kids from in a horror thing where they had a cat? I would make them from Pakistan because I would
let's do
want
that.
there to be
Okay.
some funky heritage out there that kids can learn about too, and I know about.
Yeah. You're the person with the pen, and so we're going
Yeah.
with you.
Ayan and Hania, they're sort of the Waitrose equivalent, but that's all right because even AI is slowly.
Yeah. It
But I
might
think
not-
this is where you need to flag up.
Yeah, yeah.
It's,
Yeah.
You know, it is biased data. That's why you need.
Yeah, I was just going to say it might not have done all
Behind
the.
it.
It might not have got as far to Pakistan to get what the local shops are there. So
No.
yeah, that's fair. We can work with that though.
Are you happy
Yes.
with those names?
Yes.
Okay.
Did it always assume that the boy was the eldest because you've not asked it to change that?
Good question.
Very good question.
Who knows?
Yeah, that is a good question. We're not.
We can switch the ages.
How do you feel about it being a Siamese cat?
You see now, Pakistanis just wouldn't. I'm joking. I'm allergic to cats. So.
Did you
What do we
suggest a
feel
cat?
about? I did, but that's wrong.
Do you want a hairless cat?
Yeah.
Is that-
Oh yes, please. That would really fit actually, visually.
So we're getting towards some characters, and then after we get the characters sorted, then we're gonna work out some storylines for this. I don't want anyone to forget this Emmy-winning show.
All right, I'll just quickly change it.
Of course.
We have a very considerate writers' room.
Honey,
Are you feeling
does it
less,
change the name?
allergic
No,
now?
the name didn't change because the hair went off. That's all right.
There we go. Done. Copy that over.
Like they're quite generic, aren't they? The descriptions. They're
Yeah.
sort of like they're just energetic. They've got energetic spirit. Why? It's like, what are these kids into? Where do they discover their ability to battle the monsters? Why do the monsters come? Why do they sort of like all of these
background, or we
questions?
can move on to storylines.
Yeah, I think we can get the storylines, and then maybe as we
can answer that in the storylines,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
guess.
we can put that in.
In the pilot.
How are they relevant to kids in 2023? This character?
So we might
Gonna
add some
find out.
relevance to.
They're very afraid of the implications of AI. They
Yeah.
shop at Aldi. Yeah. 2 so far.
Where's digital world exploration come from? I didn't see that in the previous.
No, represent. From diverse circles.
Pet bond.
Role models of. Okay, so we've got some interesting.
Their first reason was sort of like quite what I would class as quite box ticky, right? Which isn't
Yes.
the way
Yeah.
you're coming from. So,
What do you feel about that?
I mean, personally, I think it's quite interesting that it's a development executive, and that's sort of where it's sort of bringing that information from. Like, this will therefore appeal to this, and this will do this. So it's sort of doing it in that way, and it's doing it as an exec rather than as a writer.
I'll ask it to move on to the log lines. How many are you going for? 4 log lines?
Yes.
So we're going to get these short log lines for the storylines.
4 short log lines.
The episodes.
How are the images looking, Mike?
Terrible.
Terrible.
Really bad. Yeah. I've sort of just about got it into some. It went weird for a bit.
Okay. So we have some. So these are for our episodes, and we're going to see what these shape up to be. We have. Oh, I'll let it finish. Actually.
I'll copy that across for you.
Yeah.
Whisker.
I do feel like it might have forgotten some of the horror elements
Oh.
of the show.
But then it's up to us to put that back in.
Yeah. Because you were saying, Tom, earlier that it keeps the context of...
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got some log lines. We've got episode 1. Are you doing... All right, we're going to put more horror in it and see what it comes up with.
Mimed mystery under the bed. So,
Shadow maze.
that just sounds like that episode of Buffy where they ripped off their faces and...
I like the unseen guest.
It's getting a bit.
I quite like the title of the unseen guest.
I don't know if I want to do a quick sort of share and sort of get everyone's feedback on just some of the examples from.
Do you want me to-
Oh, for the
now,
images.
'cause- Well, you can do it on yours. You've got the. If you sort of just
There you
scroll
go.
up. So.
This is yours.
Oh, it's mine. So this was cool, but then you've all sort of said it's sort of not
Yeah.
kind of horror enough. And then some of these, like that bottom left one, looks kind of interesting. It's sort of kind of right kind of age and looks like it
Yeah.
could be telling kind of scary stuff. This is more kind of horror, so
Yeah, hiding
how,
under the covers.
how
is good.
horrifying we're going.
Horror.
How do we kind of feel about any of these?
Yeah, what are you thinking, panel?
I like the hiding under the covers. That to me would be a sort of
Yes.
kind of single image that starts to tell
This
you
one?
what the show's about, right? It's
Top right.
kids at night scared.
That bottom left to me is like series 4 when things get really nasty. Things get nasty,
Yeah.
nasty, Mama. You don't want to be.
Like they
that
thought
cat
they had a
has seen
handle on
things.
it, but they really don't, and now it's like it's turned for the worse.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I get that.
Pre-bedtime TV.
Yeah. They all look scared and not yet scarred. So, ooh, except that one. I don't know what's scared.
It's the way he's looking at her. That's
Okay.
the problem.
But that one almost scarred me.
Did you ask it?
Yeah, Mike.
Very
Right,
very
jeez. Okay.
Okay, so as you do that, I'll just outline these episodes. So we have episode 1, Soundless Whispers. The Silent Realm springs a surprise when Hyana and Ayan, guided by Roshan, must decipher actions without words. A mimed mystery under the bed waiting to be unscrambled. Shadow Maze, into a labyrinth of shifting shadows. Hania and Ayan and Roshan venture, unraveling eerie illusions and revealing hidden truths, turning fears into lessons of courage. I quite like that. And Eclipse Enigma, in a world plunged into endless night by monsters. Our brave trio must outwit the creature and restore daylight, discovering the power of unity and cleverness.
That's
That sounds quite an epic
clear
journey.
thing
with
to
that.
do, innit?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's given like a, I like that. And the unseen guest, the trickster spirit invades their home, morphing into ordinary objects and causing chaos. Can our trio identify the intruder and restore peace using their logic and Rashan's sixth sense?
I like that as well.
I was going to say, I think what's quite impressive about this to me is it does sort of identify the problem and what they've got to try and do, or how their norm's been disrupted in this episode. So they've lost their words, or they've got this intruder and they have to, restore peace. Because it can morph into ordinary objects. So you can sort of see where the fun is in that. You can also sort of see where the potential horror is.
All right.
For me, and it's keeping it light, right? It's not like they all get ripped apart and and shredded as these poor little preschoolers.
Yeah.
So,
So are there
that's quite
any two
impressive, personally.
that stand out to you?
The last two.
The last two?
Latter two.
Okay.
The latter two.
I definitely like the last one. That would be probably my favourite.
Okay, so what we'll do is see if we can get 2, and maybe we'll put it to our audience and see which one we go with, and then we'll put it all together.
Get a sort of longer synopsis for it, maybe.
Cherished nightmare.
Okay.
That's pretty good. Okay, I'm just going to go home.
Yeah. No, stay. We still need you. We still
You wouldn't
need
have got there without us.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think it's been quite
springboards
interesting
go.
how
It's quite...
you've all like guided this process to something where it's like, okay, this could work.
Can we add a bit of comedy into it? They're quite dry.
What turns it to
Yes, isn't character coming up? Giggles in
Are you happy?
You wanted comedy.
Yeah. Can't get more comedic than giggles. Cool. All right, do you want to take a couple that you might be okay with, and then we'll see which one we...
And again, I think that's an interesting request, right? So it is we've put more comedy into it now. It feels like it's got a lot younger, again, to me, so it's even more preschool-y. Whereas before, when people were like, let's scare the kids a little bit, I would say that perhaps its original springboards are a little bit more in line with that first goal, whereas these are perhaps more, you know.
No, I get that. So are there 2 that you like?
From the second batch or the first?
Or the first?
Which ones?
Because now you quite like the...
See, because I err on the side of horror and spooky and whatever could be possible without scarring children.
Yeah.
I would still say the last 2 of the first batch, but
Yeah.
we should.
Okay.
I quite like the cherished nightmare because they're sort of, again, if they're bringing your toy alive, right?
Yes.
That kind of child's play thing that just terrified me when I was a kid.
Yes.
Thanks to my older brother. But,
3 episodes.
Okay. So we've got...
Cherished nightmare.
yeah. Plus, it reminds me of the whole Chucky thing, which is a perfect callback to our Rugrats. So,
Aw.
Right.
All right, so we've got the unseen guest, a trickster spirit invades their home, morphing into ordinary objects and causing chaos. So we're looking for that one, and then what was the other one? I think, Tom, you're putting that.
It was Eclipse Enigma, the unseen guest, and Cherished
Cherished
Nightmare.
Church Nightmare. Okay, show of hands. Eclipse Enigma. Nope, that one is out. The unseen guest. Okay, and the cherished nightmare. Okay, I think that's the unseen guest we've got. We've got
So
something.
we'll get rid of that first one then.
Okay.
Stick with those 2. Right. What's next?
Is it
can we get a
So-
quick synopsis for one? Just to see what it does, and then put it in.
Ask for a quick synopsis.
Yeah,
again.
yeah, just a slightly expanded.
And then once we have
Yeah.
that, we've got our storyline. We then can get some images and put together this presentation. And as I said, we'll have a chance to have a discussion about what we have brought into the world, apparently.
Yeah, so, yeah. Oh, yeah, sorry, I did mean a synopsis for
Oh,
episode.
sorry. I'll delete that. A synopsis for which episode was that?
For the unseen guest one, right? That was the biggest vote.
Yeah.
Right, gotcha. Synopsis. I can never spell that word. For the episode, what was it? Unseen.
Unseen guest.
Unseen
Can't
guest.
find it. There we are.
Is the cat looking more Sphinx-like? Or...
It's a little bit. We talked about the hairless Siamese. There's sort of something. I put it through DALL-E 2 as well, and it's made some. When someone said they wanted more comedy, I mean, this was the images are terrifying. But yeah, back to Midjourney, they kind of look okay. So I'll just kind of grab all some of those and stick them on the slides in a minute. Oh, we go.
There we go.
Yeah. So this
glasses.
this one sort of turned out quite well. Sort of was trying to generate more based off that original image, but sort of make the cat in there. I think some of these are okay in the kind of right direction. That haircut, probably not. But then sort of basing it more on that episode thing. So it's the cat sort of finding the ghost. I don't know what I put in for this. Sort of sensing a ghost in the family home Yeah, that's sort of pretty cool. So
Yeah.
expressive. I'll just like up-res that. Some variations.
Okay. And then we've got our synopsis as well. So I feel we've got these elements as well.
We see what the character arcs are. They sound the same. They're doing the same things as the kids, I think. What, they got a character arc potentially, or what's the... Yeah.
Let's see.
My God, that's horrible. It's not like a toes coming out of a door frame.
Oh,
What?
that's creepy. That is creepy.
The cat coming out the wall's good.
I think you could probably I'll try and get the DALL-E 2 one just to clean that up.
I mean, I do feel confident about the ability for that image to scare kids, so it might
True.
it might work. Might work.
Across the series, those arcs. It's meant like in an episode.
Okay.
Then what we can do after this is then have a discussion, and then we can put the pitch deck together, and then we'll see that before we leave. So I'm feeling confident of something.
Yes.
Yeah,
Something.
something. I'm feeling confident
There's
of something.
in it.
There's a lot of text there.
Yeah, that's a lot. Is it going to stop soon?
I'm
There we go. Interestingly, if you Google Rugrats Scary, there is an episode where they have a terrifying toy.
Okay.
Just somewhat remember.
So we've got an arc about leadership and courage, one character taking charge, and another around quick thinking and problem solving. Interesting. It feels well. We'll work with it.
Yeah.
We'll work with it. We'll see what we get image-wise. And in terms of the pitch deck, we're going to put that together with some images. But what we can do is go and have a discussion about what we've got so far and give an opportunity for questions, thoughts, feedback. And if anyone hasn't got the Emmy ready, maybe just let someone know. They can bring it in afterwards. So, panel, writer's room. We went on a journey, I feel. We went on quite a journey. So we got some basic fundamentals, what is a pitch deck, knowing what we needed to achieve. We then got some genre ideas. Thank you, audience, for pointing us in the right direction. We decided we wanted to scare some kids, but not scar them. Scare, not scar is a phrase I'm going to be using a lot today. And then we got some titles, some characters, log lines, story arcs as well. What did you think about the process and where we got to in the end?
I think it's very time compressed, isn't it? I think what we're doing is just very much an extreme illustration of how you might use it normally, rather than just literally copying and pasting.
Yeah.
Which that's what essentially, with the way AI is working, it's just ingesting a huge amount of information and then mashing it up and then representing it. So I guess it's just a fight against blandness in that sense.
It did feel like that. It felt like what we got was like, I think many people pointed it out, so it sounded generic, and then it's all added to make it a bit more specific, a bit more unique, even though it didn't tell us it was going to be unique at the beginning.
But it's the whole thing, isn't it, with being a kind of a predictive language model, is that you're only really getting stuff that it's seen before already, like it's, and you, so when you kind of got these prompts like, wouldn't we could try and trick it by doing sort of like horror in kids, and how much do we push that, and it's not got that, so it's sort of, you're trying to kind of force it and make something, so it's, yeah, you're only going to get back that sort of.
But there's always that argument, right, about there's no new ideas. So in many ways, it's going through the same sort of processes that we're trying to go through, which is you start off with an idea, what has inspired that idea, then how do I make it feel more unique?
But I guess all the creative process is taking completely disconnected things and bringing them together in new ways. Yeah. And in a way, you can force it to do that by say taking this and taking that, but. Earlier we were just playing around with it and we said, could you make a rom-com for preschoolers? and there was no reference to that, so it really struggled.
Yeah. Okay, so how do you feel about where we got to? Is that we've got something we feel we can present in a bit?
I'm waiting for my images.
Okay. Well, while you work on that,
I've chucked one on the front page.
Oh, cool. And sorry.
okay, I'll let them work on that, and I'll give an opportunity for the audience. So we've got some mics wandering about. So if anyone has a question, has a thought, then we could start. Just because you're in easy eyesight here.
I've got a question for the gentleman on the end. Is it Mike?
Michael?
Yep.
Hello. Over here.
Mike, that end.
You're using Midjourney.
Yep.
I heard you say you're using DALL-E as well. What's
Yep.
the process and what's your justification for going there and then coming back and going there?
So did I even close it? I think I just closed it. The justification was that DALL-E 2's like, it doesn't make as sort of aesthetically pleasing images on the sort of face of it. We can do a screen share and I'll see if I can show you I just used it then to sort of try and clean up the door frame as opposed to bothering to go into Photoshop and clean it up. I just sort of highlighted these areas and was like, do something. Whereas you don't really have that kind of control in here, but it does. Can I get to the ones it did? These were the ones it was trying to do based off that original image, and it just makes very squiffier looking kind of thing. Yeah, they're really horrible. Whereas Midjourney would make much. This was I just sort of selected that other one off the image that everyone liked. Was like, do the hairless Siamese cat. So this is a good illustration of which bit did DALL-E 2 do, and it's.
This feels like a. Yeah, well, this feels like some things you can't unsee kind of situation.
But then, equally, you could then have an artist do a paint over of something based on that and be like, it's not this. But
Yeah, but it sets you in a direction. Any other thoughts and questions got over here? If we can, is that possible to make its way there? I've just given you like an impossible task, haven't I? I believe in you. You can make it. There we go. Teamwork. Look at that.
I'm sorry to be a critical voice in the room. I think that we should look deeper than beyond this. So I started off like I'm really enjoying this live, but machine learning is unstable. It uses world resources. Doing a Google search is the equivalent to boiling 2 kettles of water. I don't know how many people know that. Right now, I don't know how much of the world's resources we've done to produce this. And it brings about bias, inequalities, division in labour. And I'm really struggling sitting here without that discussion running alongside it. If we moved beyond images and used machine learning like Runway ML to look at video, it would show those prejudices right away in terms of gender, race, and how unstable it is. So I just wanted to add that into the room.
I think that's a critical thing. I think that's what you need to be aware of, and for us all to be educated on the sustainability of it. I know, for example, ChatGPT runs on Microsoft Azure, which is going to be run on 100% sustainable energy in the next 2 years, I think. So I think it's looking at the being aware of the impact of the imprint and impact of it, and
making active decisions about why we're using it, why we're doing it, and because we're making stuff for kids and kids are aware of this, how do we bring them into the process? So we're looking at work like, what if we take things that kids have made and let them augment it with AI rather than us as adults, because that brings something new to the table, rather than regenerating stuff that's created by adults.
Sure.
Match for kids again.
But I think it's a tool, and it can be used in every ways. We're just trying to illustrate one way out of a 1,000 different ways. No, I think we need that. We need that critical voices, because we need more discussion on it, and that's why we're here. There's only obviously so much.
So much time,
Yeah, I think also there's always been that sort of danger anyway of people recycling things, even without these tools, that it's the same voices, the same people having the same kind of conversations about, well, this was a success, we'll kind of repeat that again. And I think we're sort of all aware that this is like absolutely this kind of closed feedback loop of kind of generating the same crap all the time.
We don't have ghost workers looking through all the algorithms who are unable to do properly, doing this for the benefit of wealthy nations.
Yeah. Agreed. I have no answer.
Cool. But thank you for the input. I think we've got a bit of time for maybe one or two other questions, thoughts. We've got just here. Okay, cool. All right, we queued it up.
I just wondered if I don't know if that's I wondered if anyone had had success bringing it to script form, though. I've tried writing a Bluey and it was utter garbage. It was just exposition, none of the magic or heart. And they called biscuits cookies, which is a crime in Australia. You never do that. I hope the answer's no, being a writer.
Yeah.
We had a little test of it in the office for a 60-second infomercial I was telling everybody about, and it did produce something that I thought was quite impressive. It produced something where it understood the difference between kind of the narrator humour versus what would be going on in the background. It was quite sophisticated, but again, it was set up with some good input from a writer in terms of the concept it was given and this, that and the other. So it wouldn't have got there on its own, and I wouldn't particularly advocate using it like that. I mean, a big part for me being on the panel, like again, I kind of said we should have somebody like Nina on the panel, which again I think goes back to again the other comment that the lady made about it is about having humans overseeing this, right? It's like the bias. That's the point.
Yeah, scripts work because they resonate with humans, and you need that human heart to do that. Where we're looking at how we can use it, not in that way, and everyone seems to always be drawn towards can it write scripts, and I don't understand quite why that is. When there's many things it can do well, writing scripts is generally not one of them. Maybe some point in the future, but that's certainly not a focus of how we're letting it. Not letting it, how we're experimenting with using it in our productions as a tool.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, and it's good to see like the input from your like bringing your perspective into it and making those changes. So we've got a question on this side.
It's on, is it? Oh, it is on. Yeah. Hello. Yeah. Basically, I sort of was wondering, have you put images into it and then asked it to change those images or develop those images? And is that also then, are you feeding the machine, and is that a good thing?
Yeah, so for this one, no, it was just sort of the language translation was literally the text to an image. Then at some point, to kind of get some continuity, you sort of feed it back the same image as like a reference point. You can upload images and sort of use that as like an inspiration or kind of analyze like some aspects of the... And yeah, like you say, it's a sort of kind of dangerous territory, but it is anyway, in that I'm pretty sure with Midjourney it would have been the case, but where it's essentially just used any sort of images that just are on Google Images, just without copyright, use that to build up their kind of database. So it's sort of already been fed all these images anyway, but you can, I think they're sort of trying to make it more, there's not a lot of direction or composition you can sort of have over these. So when I couldn't say, I want this person to be here and I want this to, this cat to be on their shoulder or something, it would probably do something really weird. So I think those tools are getting better at being able to sort of compose an image and have more kind of control over it. But for this, it was just pretty much text straight in and then recycling those.
And I think can we take a look at the final pitch deck as well?
Yeah. That was the original. So this was obviously taking an image from Rugrats, and then this is sort of bringing in sort of more the mood created by the Midjourney. And we were saying that in terms of image generation, so we've just recently done a mood board for a project, and typically I'd be doing that. I'd be taking the images from Google. I did my mood board with more Midjourney, which I felt enabled it to be a little bit more personalised and therefore get us a little bit further to the vision.
Sure.
We had a positive reaction then from someone we were trying to get on board, and then for me the next stage is to bring in a human to do that stuff and do it properly. So it's sort of, for us it's not replacing anybody that would have been involved at any stage. It's more just augmenting what we can do ourselves at that level. So there's that. There's a sort of series overview. So that was the original Chanting Blend of Rugrats, very basic. Then this was our sort of Twilight Tots of Bedtime saga. Brought us back in. We'd kind of reconfigured where the kids came from and who they were. Characters breakdown, which I would argue isn't quite the best English either. So there's kind of Liam, Esme, and Comet. And then we've got Hanaya, is that how
Anya.
Ian and Roshan. And then we've got episode structure and content. Those are the original springboards. These were the two that we kind of drilled down on. There's a synopsis that we sort of abandoned halfway through because it just wouldn't stop. We could do with dropping in a few more, I think, of your images, Mike, into this bit. So I think we're going to make this deck available. Is that right?
Yeah. So we're gonna share this deck
drop a
so
few
you
of those
can all marvel and share in the wonder that has been this speed run at AI pitch deck generation. But we'll end there.
Oh, sorry, go on.
Oh, no, sorry. Okay.
I was going to say, I have actually just taken that whole synopsis back and asked ChatGPT, you're now an Emmy-winning Netflix executive. Please can you give me your feedback? So copied and pasted it all. And
nice.
it's given me a critique of the whole project as well.
Okay,
go
so
through
it's
the whole
like
project again.
Did you say it was good or bad?
It was polite. I think.
Right, okay.
Yeah, it says, though the idea holds promise, the engagement with audiences throughout the episodes will be key to its success. The adventure should evoke curiosity whilst fostering a sense of comfort. Also, the integration of Pakistani culture and bedtime rituals can be a distinguishing factor, as this cultural representation is currently underrepresented in preschool programming. With the right execution and pacing, I foresee Twilight Tots as a potential hit among viewers.
Okay.
Absolute smash.
It should, yeah.
So AI loves itself.
Yeah.
I'm like, who owns the rights?
I was
to
just
it?
about to say,
Yeah,
this is where we argue over
That's a different
copyright.
session.
Yeah,
If you want to join in that session where we debate who's going to get the Emmy and who's going to get the royalties. But anyway, we have reached the end of our journey into creating this pitch deck. Thank you for going along with us. Thank you for the feedback and the questions. I just want to make sure that people are aware that we are close to the end of the Children's Media Conference, but not quite. We have another session. We have the final session of the conference, the last word, where everyone can come back together. This will be next door in Cinema 2, in Cinema 4, in 20 minutes. So we'll be joined by Cosmic Kids Guru, Jamie and more at 3:30 in Cinema 4. I've been told there's some yoga going on, so it's been a long day, I feel. It's been a long day, so if you want to stretch, get relaxed before your train journey's home. I've got nowhere to go, so my train's at 6, so I'm going to be there. But thank you all for taking part.
Can you paste that into the box?